Okay, so with all our sprite sheets set up, let's go ahead and start filling in some things into the scene so that we can start rigging up an actual sprite character. First, we're going to start with the basics, kind of the same that we did with our last scene. We're going to start with a ground that the character can walk on. It's going to be a plane. We're going to increase the size so that there's enough space for our character to walk around. Material is going to be this reflective glassy surface, so he's going to walk on stained glass. Position is going to be there a little bit on the 0 on the z-axis. Next, we're going to create a game cube for our dimensions again, for our base dimensions. Just to 0. When we look through our camera, we see that the cube is in view. So then next we can start creating now this guy's going to be our character. And we're going to call this guy Customizable. That's going to be his name. And then, like with anything SpriteMan related, we have to add sprites to this guy. So first we're going to create kind of like a root manage sprite. So this is the sprite that can get billboarded freely within the character by Sprite Manager. And let's give him sprite. We're going to go ahead and look for the idle pose. So it's going to be idle south. Main body sprite, focus on this guy. He looks about like this. Zeroed out here position. Relative to his parent, when we stand him next to the cube, we see that he is a tiny midget. He's a little baby. So what we need to increase his size, something like that. Bring him above ground. Okay, so now he's about 1 meter tall. Pretty good for what we need to do. Now underneath this sprite, we're going to add some more sprites for the clothing layers. And we see the type of stuff that's available. We're going to have feet, head, head covering like hair or a helmet, legs, pants, things that we can put on his torso. So we're gonna start naming these children's sprites accordingly. So feet, sprite, head, legs, torso, and our last kind of slot here is going to be weapons, a weapon slot. Weapons. We're going to go ahead and reorder these, so maybe torso gets displayed on top of everything. Actually, the head does first, and then legs goes above feet, weapon, okay. So for the head, we're going to give him some hair for now. First is just a sprite to make sure that it appears where it needs to. The thing that we need to set on this root sprite is we're missing one component. It's called a sorting group. Now that we added the sorting group, we see that, all the sprites are going to appear in the right order. on top of one another. So head, torso. Let's see, for torso, we're going to give him a shirt. We're going to start him off with a shirt. South shirt. Legs. We're going to give him pants. South. Feet. We're going to give him some shoes. And we're going to skip the weapon for now. All right, so now that we got this far, we want to do what we did with our previous scene, which is start rigging this guy up to be playable in game. When we look at the game, play the game, can't do anything. So we need to give him some physics and then some controlling capability. First, we start with some physics. It's going to need a rigid body. Then we're going to add a collider. Capsule collider. In the scene view, it's going to start looking like this. About 4. And the height is about right. The managed sprite needs to be moved up a little bit within that collider. So, okay, maybe the collider needs to be just a little bit taller, like so. We got a pretty comfortable fit right there. We need to freeze our rotation for this rigid body. It doesn't just topple over when he bumps into things. Next, we add our actual controller. So it's going to be the person player controller. We're also going to want to add an animator. Animator being under miscellaneous. Drag this animator onto the player controller that we've set up. Let's see how, okay, so now he can move around. We got that much set up. Next, on our camera, we want to have like a camera follow utility. And the camera needs to follow our character named Customizable with maybe a distance of 4 or 5 with a height of 2.5. Okay, maybe distance of 4 with a height damping of 5. Okay, and there we go. There's our character. A little bit too close. Maybe distance can be about a 6. There we go. Yeah, maybe just a little bit closer. Why not? Okay, so like so. Go ahead and add the jump capability to him as well. Under project settings, we see that our physics is set to be a ungodly negative number. That's just so that we can quickly prototype some simple physics. And we're going to give him a jump velocity of something like, I don't remember what we did last time, maybe like a 20. Let's see what that looks like. Okay. Getting there. 30. Drag 0. Mass 50. Okay, there we go. $25-ish. Anyway, pretty decent. Okay, so now we've created our base scene that we're going to start filling in and playing around more with.